colors, they kind of tell me what I'm thinking. Fell in love with the way we are, and the way we lose it. There's something different about us, and the reason why we stay. We fly around like paper planes, they never know where we will fall. Nobody can see us, still they wanna tear us apart. There's something different about the way we are. There's something different about us. 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 We're pouring cup after cup after cup. Yeah, it's just the way we do it. Anything just to block out the real life, real life. Yeah, we're loving the way they think we're so messed up. Even if what we're doing is bad, there's so many emotions. Sharing stories that we never had, yeah, none is real. I think we're searching for reasons not to be like them. We fly around like paper planes, they never know where we will fall. Nobody can see us, still they wanna tear us apart. There's something different about the way we are. There's something different about us.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to our second episode of TNT Footy for season 2024. I'm Taz, and beside me we have...
Eggy?
And I'm Todd.
How you going, boys?
Very well, thank you. How's yourself?
Good, good. I'm trying to get the timing right for the intro now that we've got the new stinger that pops up. So hopefully
Yeah,
that's
segue.
Worked.
Hopefully she worked out for us. So it's we've got some new t-shirts on too, boys.
We do.
Yeah.
So I've got the front here. Todd drew the short straw.
Yeah, do the short straw. I've got the back. That's all right. It's still comfy both ways.
They look good.
They
Nah,
do.
look great. I like the logo. That's me.
Absolutely.
How was the first round of footy? Well, not first round of footy, boys, but how exciting was it just to have some footy live stream for the rugby matches?
It was very good.
Loved it, mate. Loved it. Just to see footy back again is sensational.
Welcome,
Well,
Carlton Flaggers in the dock.
Welcome, the doc.
Welcome,
And the flaggers
guys.
too. Yeah, I'm excited, but now I'm a bit disappointed because of the lull now. There's only 8 teams that are going to play this week and then off to next week. So I think that's a bit disappointing for most clubs.
Still footy. Yeah.
Still footy, but
Still
yeah, I'm
footy.
a bit upset. I just get
You
pumped
are.
up and now I've got to have a week off. Don't like it.
Well, look, we got a massive show tonight, so we're going to start with Moisty's Minute straight off the. No, we're not.
No,
actually.
you've got that round the wrong way, mate. Yeah.
I do. We're going to start off with some viewers' questions, and we're going to look Eggy's deep dive. Then we're going to look at Moisty's Minute, and then we'll finish off with Supercoach, which just pre-warning for everyone, that could go probably the longest segment at the moment with Supercoach.
Yeah, it's going to be a long one, but we've had a few people, especially me, I've had a few people asking me about rookies for draft, Supercoach and that, so we thought we'd go through them and give our top picks for each club.
Absolutely. We couldn't obviously name everyone, but we'll touch more on that later. I think we've got about roughly around 40 players that we put into a bit of a list. We were going to have a guest this week, but unfortunately something unexpected has happened, so they've had to reschedule for next week's show, which will actually
that'll be
work out
exciting.
well.
Sorry, keep going, Fizzy.
No, you're right. Yeah, so that'll actually work out well because the footy packs come out for Card Break Kid next Friday. So he'll actually be able to go through and show us what the cards look like and give us a bit more of a breakdown.
Oh, so that card's actually come out next week. That's exciting. Exciting for him. I knew he was looking forward to it, seeing what's in there.
Definitely. Now, also, don't forget, footy tipping opens this coming week with opening round. So if you haven't signed up, you'll be able to use one of the links below to sign up to that. And if you haven't seen us on any of our socials, feel free to jump in, follow us, like us, subscribe. We'd love that. We're trying to really grow this year. And
we're trying to pump it right out, aren't we?
Yeah, pump it out and get our content out there and see what happens, because we seem to think we're pretty fun and good blokes, but hopefully everyone else does.
Yeah, hopefully we get along. Also, just with the Supercoach, that doesn't start officially this week, so you've still got an extra week to sign up for that one.
That's
so
good.
we'll get the links down below to sort that one out too.
Definitely.
That's an unlimited comp as well. Many entries as you want. Tell everyone about it. We're hoping we get a few people in that one as well.
Fingers crossed. Yeah, we've got 21 in there at the moment, and that's just growing by the day. So as we get closer to the season, more and more people filter through. Same with what we've seen with the footy tipping.
Yeah, that's just exploded last week, hasn't it?
It has. Love it. All right. Let's get into it, boys.
Now, maybe my favourite new segment of the year. I say this every week, but this is the viewers coming in for the viewers' question. I think last week it was Eggie's Deep Dive, but I like all our new segments.
It's something different. We try to add something. But the viewers' questions are, what do you like about it, Tom?
Oh, I just love the audience getting involved, giving us the questions, their thoughts as well. We might not talk about stuff they write, so this gets them involved as well. And if we miss something, they can have their say, sort of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I 100% agree with that. Eggie, do you want to read the questions this week?
Sure. Let's do that. All right, we got Carlton Flaggers 2024. Has Harry McKay been criticised too much over the last week? Misinformation? Question mark.
Do you want to take this?
I could start with this one. I think he's been criticised too much all last year. I don't think, every kicker goes through it. He's got the yips. Yes, he's got the yips, but if he works his way through it, mate, the way this kid can come, mark a ball, there's shots on goal he actually does get. Remember, he's been passing a lot off too because he's a bit nervous, so I reckon he's been criticised too much for a year.
I think rightfully his kicking's been criticised in front of goal because he has not been accurate at all. However, apparently he's gone to work in the off season, and I've been saying this for a couple of months now. I genuinely think he's going to have a massive year this year. He kicked through 3 goals, 2 and 1 out on the full on in the practice game. But I mean, practice games don't mean too much. However,
no, that's it.
He's marking the ball extremely well, and it looks like Carlton are going to use him as the second ruck option, which I think is great because he's got speed, he tackles, and he's got size. So if he can utilise those skills around the ground, Carlton are going to be better for it.
Yeah, and without Silvati there, you sort of needed to pick up another bloke.
Yeah, and we can't really run with Pitto and TDK. I think that's been proven. It might work against the bigger rucks like Gawn or someone, but it's going to be challenging against those more mobile ones.
And the smaller teams that are coming in, just smaller, the 2 rucks can't compete then.
Yeah, exactly. You got a grin on your face there, Eggie.
I just wanted to welcome Calzo to the chat. And he is correct. I am the rose between 2 thorns.
He was telling us that on this T-shirt too. He goes, "Who put those 2 ugly things on there with Eggie?"
Welcome, Calzo. Great to have you in chat.
Right,
I reckon it is a bit over that. I reckon he's been over criticised. Sorry, Eggie, you go.
That's right. Well, Carlton Flaggers has got another one here, and it's dedicated to Taz. What's your analysis on Carlton's pre-season games?
Ooh, I don't read too much into pre-season, to be quite honest. I think there's people that do jump the gun a bit, and I've seen a lot of Carlton supporters on different groups and different pages and whatnot saying, we're not going to make the top 8 and everything's gone, going to go to crap because we lost our 2 preseason games. But I really don't read too much into them. I really don't.
And
well,
sorry, what were we going to say, Todd?
No, you go.
Well, I was going to go to the next question, but if you got something on this one,
no, go to the next question.
All right, we got one dedicated for Todd now as well from Coach Stephen 51. I believe that's Bross. That's Bross's number. Why don't you rate the Pies?
Well, see, it's not that I don't rate the Pies. I just think they had a poor end to the season last year. I think they got over the line in a lot of games. And I don't know, in those sort of games, you don't want to be coming into finals 50-50 in end of games. In that final series, they could have lost or won either of those games. Where you look at Brisbane, they were never losing any of their games until the grand final. That's how I think you want to be playing your footy coming up. And I don't think Collingwood can get it going for another year. They did that all last year. I could be completely wrong and they go completely the other way and they just dominate everyone this year. But the way they played, I know we don't rematch into pracky matches, but they sort of struggled a little bit against North, even though it was half a side, and then didn't really demolish Richmond. So that's mine. I actually do think, I said to the boys last week, it was a bit of an insult to most of the supporters. I actually do think they're going to make finals, but I swapped them and North out just to get a bit of niggle going behind the scenes.
You did say that last week.
I know you do like to go against the grain because there are a lot of Magpie supporters through here.
That's it. So we've got to get some bit of change on there.
It's probably.
But no, I think. Sorry, go, Tazzy.
It's probably we've got more Collingwood supporters in support of our show than we do any other club. I think at the moment.
It is at the moment. Yes, it's highly Collingwood. So that's why we've got to put a bit of niggle in behind. But no, I do.
I'm saying that I do think they're going to lose this weekend or next weekend, should I say?
Yeah, you think they'll lose that one?
Yeah.
Well, I think
they tip out early.
Yeah, I think they'll go all right, but yeah, I don't see them as the dominant force that everyone else sees them as.
Love it.
And then we got Zoe N, and she's put a question. Well, I'm not sure if it's a question or more of a statement. But meow. Yeah, do you have anything?
Question I don't get, but I think it's because she's a St Kilda supporter and North got touched up a little bit. That might be it.
Potentially.
I'm
not too sure.
Got some insight for this, does he?
I've got no insight to this.
No insight. He's just wrote it down.
I just thought it was quite amusing because it was it's actually from all of our friends' wife. So she's just sent the viewer question meow. I thought that was hilarious. So thank you, Zoe.
Thank you for the question. The next one's from one of the best podcasters I know. His name's Eggy, mate, and he's put in, is North Ball still good?
Well, I can tell you, I watched this all today, watched the game, and that third quarter was electrifying. If we dish that second half up all this year, I'll be happy. It looked fantastic.
Yeah, I didn't watch a lot of it. I did like bits and pieces of it, but I had that in the NRL up at the same time. So
yeah.
But I did see that they were down after the second quarter, but yeah, they come back out in the third quarter and
they kicked 6 unanswered goals, I think it was 6 or 7, and kept St Kilda, which is the highest defensive team. They kept them to nothing in the third and kicked 6 themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were ranked number 1 for defense last year, St Kilda. Yeah. But again, practice match.
Practice match, yeah, so don't read too much into it. That's why North lost. So if it wasn't a practice match, we'd get over the top there.
And that's it for the deep dive. Well, before I finish off, actually, Carlton Flaggers put he agreed Taz.
Sorry, what was that?
Flaggers agreed to your statement about the an analysis on Carlton's preseason.
Us Carlton supporters got to stick together, mate.
Got to stick together. There's too many of them in this chat too.
Yep.
Carlton everywhere. Carlton, Collingwood. That's majority. This is choking me now.
Well, the doc is another Collingwood supporter as well, just so you guys know.
Oh,
we've got a heat going on there.
Full house tonight.
Absolutely. All right, that's viewer questions done. Eggy's deep dive.
All right, let's kick it off. I know this is an AFL, but I'm going to talk about it anyway. The NRL was in Las Vegas today at Allegiant Stadium, where Kelsey and the rest of the Chiefs won the Super Bowl. First, Manly beat the Rabbitohs 36-24. That was at 1:30. Then at 3:30, we had the Roosters demolishing the Broncos to 20-10. With just under 41,000 there to watch the game. It was a double header though, so it wasn't classed as 2 games. There's already talks of bringing a triple header over next season. I know the fields of the stadium over there aren't really suited for AFL or NRL really, because their fields are usually 100 metres by 68, and the goals are 8 metres. But for the Las Vegas matches, it was reduced to 94.5 metres and 64 metres, with 6.5 metre in goals. How do you feel the AFL would go over there in Las Vegas?
I don't think they've got any grounds that are designed for it.
Well, I think they've got grounds. They just don't have any stadiums.
Yeah, they don't have stadiums. You can play on grounds over there, but it's sort of a different. See, America does play rugby.
Yeah.
Not our style of rugby. They do know how to play rugby, though. AFL is completely different. You have to teach them a new sport.
In saying that,
Oh, sorry.
one of our viewers, Turtle, he was saying that America has something like 48 different teams now playing AFL over there. Because Mason Cox has been...
I was just about to mention that.
Oh, were you? Sorry.
The reason I bring this up is the amateur rugby league over there started in 2011 with 14 current teams. But compared to the AFL over there, it started in 1997. They have 47 men's teams and 25 women's teams. Based on those numbers alone, I think the AFL can be successful. Guess it's not just Australia that the AFL is the bigger code.
Yeah, my bad. I didn't see that written there before.
Yeah, you didn't hear that little joke at the end either. Australia's the biggest code over there as well.
Sorry about that, Egg. You just ruined it.
And that's it. I do hope we can get Australian worldwide because it's a great game.
Yeah. Well, I do know that there are like decent amateur leagues over in like Canada and stuff like that. I'm not sure if you are aware of it, but I have heard there's some decent amateur leagues over there where...
I know there's some in Japan too. I heard. I don't think they're decent, but
they do have the World AFL Championship here in Melbourne once a year as well. The quality is obviously not great, but they do have that once a year, International Cup or something, which is pretty cool.
Oh yeah, that's the one with the Ireland. Is that the sort of soccer?
No, that's international. That's different. That's Gaelic rules.
Oh yeah.
They don't play that anymore. They used to. I loved those games, but
They were
Australia was
amazing.
too physical for them, I think.
I miss State of Origin too.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I wasn't a fan of State of Origin.
I loved it. Just
If
going to
you're
catch
gonna
up
do
on chat.
State of Origin, you've got to do all the states, I reckon, not just state versus big.
Calzo's just put here, AFL is getting big over there, talking about the US. And the doc's got here, Pies back to back.
I've been hearing that a lot, but I don't believe it.
I reckon they'll still be up there as we covered last week.
Well, I do hope they will, but I had a premonition this week, just like I had a premonition last year that it was going to be Pies Carlton, and then I changed it halfway to Pies Brisbane. And the funny thing was, it come down to Carlton playing Brisbane, who were going to play the Pies.
Yeah, get in there.
So this year I've got Brisbane and GWS. So you heard it here first. March
changed.
3rd.
He's off Collingwood.
Yeah, March 3rd. GWS versus Brisbane.
If it goes Sydney, I think I'll get a prize for that because that's a tip out of nowhere. Sydney GWS.
Eggy, that was a great deep dive, mate. Thank you so much.
It's a little off topic, but we're in the...
No, it's great. Yeah, we're getting a bit of AFL over there too, which getting a bit of NRL hate too. I like a little bit.
And Mason Cox has been huge in America for it.
Yeah. Like Turtle was saying that Mason Cox has been over there trying to promote it as well.
Yep, absolutely. All right, we are up to your minute, Moisty.
Welcome, Turtle. Just read that. Turtle's just made it.
Hey, welcome, Turtle.
He's just missed all the Collingwood bit. You might have to go back and rewatch because I just redeem yourself for the Collingwood.
All right, I'm about to click over to the Moisty's minute scene, and you only got a minute to talk. You ready?
All right, hang on. Let's go. All right, so this week Moisty's minute's a bit different this week, guys. We're just going to give you a few Supercoach cow or not cow. I just want a cow or not cow when I read through this list.
Can I ask you a question before you start?
Oh, it's too late. The scan has started.
Oh, all right.
All right, now go question quick. What's the question?
If we don't know them?
I'll explain who they are.
Okay.
Just guess, and I'll tell you if you're right or wrong. All right, we ready?
We're ready.
Get a minute on the clock and let me know.
It's already at 35 seconds. I can't stop it.
All right, we'll talk for 35 seconds and we'll go back again. Maybe we'll just Oh, yeah, I can see it counting down. Are we letting that go and go again, or we'll just...
No, I can't.
We'll just count a minute.
We'll go back there. Oh, no, it doesn't.
Well, this was a massive balls up. My bad.
Yeah. Tassie's just wrecked the whole segment. But we'll just start and we'll just time a minute. All right, Harley Reid.
Cow.
Undecided.
Undecided. Colby McKercher.
Cow.
Cow.
Jed Walters.
What was the other option to cow?
Not a cow.
Not a cow.
I don't know. I don't know who that is. So I don't know.
Forward is injured for Gold Coast. Zane Dersma.
Cow.
Cow.
Play along in chat too.
Nick Watson. Hawthorn small forward.
Ooh,
Undecided.
Cow.
Yeah. Riley Sanders.
Cow.
Cow.
Caleb Windsor.
Cow.
Cow.
Daniel Curtin.
Undecided.
Undecided.
Ethan Reed's a ruckman Gold Coast got.
And no cow.
Yeah, no cow.
Nate Caddy, the forward, Essendon got.
No cow.
Okay.
Connor O'Sullivan, Geelong's forward.
No cow.
Undecided.
And the last one, because I think that's my minute up, Phoenix Gothard, our superstar, out of nowhere pick out of the draft.
Who?
Yeah.
Phoenix Gothard was the bloke. His teammate was off with Joel Selwood getting his jumper, and they called his name out. He was expected to go round 2. He went round pick 12. Don't know who he is. No. All right, so we're going to go no cow with him too. I think you'll be cow.
But before we finish on that, I just want to
your own question.
reach out to Turtle. I think they missed a cow. Or has he already moved from last year? George Wardlaw.
Well, I was just going over the top. So these cows were just top 10 draft picks.
Oh, okay.
We were going through the draft list till we run out of time, but Taz bucketed up my clock. So just sort of guessed when it was.
I'm good at doing that. Sorry, boys. That was good, Moisty.
Very well done.
That was just a quick Supercoach one because we haven't sort of had any footy yet, so there's nothing else to talk about.
Yeah, but we're about to dive deep in the Supercoach.
We are.
Well, that was our last segment this week too. We were just going to talk about Supercoach because we've had people asking me and Tassie. I know get a lot. I don't know if Eddie gets it as well. But what players should they have in? What rookies are going to go well? What players basically can they afford for this much? So we've got our best 2 or 3 players plus a rookie. Best player from each team and a rookie from the practice games. I think we're going to go. Is it Tassie?
We've tried to. Yeah, there was. We obviously didn't want to talk about it for like too long. So we've got 40 minutes to go through the list. There's 40 players. We have missed some players just so people are aware. However, we think that these are the kind of players to keep an eye on and maybe consider for your side.
And they were the standout players of the Pracky match, we thought too.
Yeah, and you guys in chat, please have input as well. We love to hear what your thoughts are. Yeah, all right, let's get into it.
If you've got a bloke that we missed that you really want people to know about, which normally doesn't happen with Supercoach because you normally try and keep them to yourself.
Do you mind if I get your list up in the back screen, or you want to do it off screen?
Probably throw the list up, but can you cycle through the list? Yeah, that way we can.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
That way, so people say, I want him, they can see. And if we get too far ahead, they can go back and go, there we are.
The good thing about being on YouTube now, people can come in and watch it later or go back to it as well if they can't remember. I think it's fantastic.
Clicking right through. So first game, I think we're going to go in game order. It was Collingwood versus Richmond. And our first player we've got down there is Nicky Dacos for defensive mid. He'll cost you a pretty penny at $6.50, but he only played 2.5 quarters and scored 102. So I personally think he's a lock.
Yeah.
I think I agree with you.
I agree with you too. I'm just going to get up my team as well. Let's see if we can coincide.
Oh, that's terrible.
He's just gonna. So we had Finn McRae and Charlie Dean, are potential rookies that you can watch out for, but they didn't get much game time, and Collingwood's a pretty tough team to break into.
Yeah, so they only had 32 and 35% game time. I know Finn McRae, and Turtles actually mentioned him in chat. Finn McRae has been talked up massively in the preseason. But looking at his time on,
sorry, Tassie, just down here and crap. Finn McRae, massive cow, 152, can't lose. So
I just don't know if his job security is there, because you would imagine he would have got more time on ground if it was.
Yep.
Yeah. You go through Richmond, Tassie.
Yeah, mate. So we've got Taranto midfielder, 596,100. Obviously, Tigers. Scored 115. His ownership's only 3%. So put a little note next to him saying, is he a pod? He's Richmond's main midfielder now. There's no Cochin. Dusty will roll through there, but he's not the Dusty of old.
Yeah.
So pod, for people who don't know, are players of difference. So they won't be in a lot of teams.
Yeah, absolutely. Next on the list, we've got Thompson Dow, another player who is not really a rookie. However, is quite low with his value. And considering he's playing full-time mid for Richmond, he is stepping into the Cochin role. His job security should be good, and his value is 254,800. So definitely another one there to keep an eye on. And his brother Paddy, just off topic, for Saints when he comes back, might be worth looking at too. Last for Richmond, but not least, was Naismith. So he obviously got picked up by them in the off-season very late, coming across from Sydney due to injuries. He was moving and looked fantastic in the practice game. I don't know how long Nankervis is out for, but he could be a good R3 option, which R3 is a ruck 3 on the bench who could make you a bit of cash in the early rounds.
I've actually got him as my ruck 3 as well.
Yeah, nice.
Just to mention.
I do too at the moment.
Yeah.
All right, then we've got Melbourne. It was Melbourne versus Carlton, so we've got Gawn as their must-have. He's a ruck, 583. Damn, he scored 185 in the practice match. In 57% of teams, and he's going to be the All-Australian ruck again this year, I think. So
yeah,
he's probably a must-have.
Yeah, he absolutely dominated every part of the ground.
And you'll get him, that was with a team with a proper ruck. You'll get him against teams without rucks where he'll just go again to another level and another level.
He'll probably get 200 plus against Eagles.
Yeah.
No
ruckman. So the rookie that we were thinking to watch out of that is Windsor. Had an amazing game. Only scored 77, but he was all over the ground as a mid-forward. The only problem is job security, but they need a forward who's going to stand up. A lot of their forwards aren't performing, so if he can come in and perform, you might lock him in.
Yeah, I think he also played wing.
He did.
He may lock down that role until Hunter comes back, but they seem to be pretty set on Hunter and Langdon being their two wingers.
Well, that wing's worked for 6 years. You
right.
don't mech with a winning system, do you?
Exactly.
Do you want to take on Carlton there, Ricky?
Yeah.
Can't have Tassie to Carlton.
Oh, well, we got Walsh. Walsh is the only one on the list there. Did not play. Should be back round 1 or 2.
Yep, pretty much.
we went through Carlton, and there's not a lot. They're pretty all-rounded. They're pretty set. They've had their team for 4 or 5 years. A lot of those average around average price. We didn't see any standouts in the Pracky match.
Well, there was one, but we didn't put him on.
Who was the standout?
Mackay.
Mackay is not trustworthy. We went through the question before, but Mackay, if he plays like he played that night, then throw him in.
Yeah, if he looks good in opening round in round 1, consider him for after round 2 bye. As a
that might cost you a bit for then. Oh no, they don't go till round 3, do they? Yeah,
that's
round
right.
3 they go.
Yep, exactly. But he's my pod, so I've actually got him in my team. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah, he's in Tassie's team, but that doesn't say much because he went very poorly last year with Supercoach, Tassie.
I didn't.
No, he kicked me out of finals, didn't you?
Someone's still salty.
I'm very salty on that. Undefeated all year. The Swans, Tassie?
Yeah, mate. Yeah, so put Goulden in there. I think he's just a no-brainer. Yeah. I think he'll be competing for the Brownlow alongside Dacos again. 622,100, scored 133 in the Pracky. Again, these scores, some of them you could probably just go, is it a once-off? He's the kind of player who showed that it's not a once-off. He showed that last year. He's in 37% of teams, so he's in quite a few.
Well, I put him into mine, and I was looking at Taranto, but then I'd look out Taranto and put a few cheapies in there to hopefully get some cash up.
Yep. Yeah, lovely. And we've actually got a rookie here in Roberts. I don't know too much about him, but he did ton up. And from all reports, he's got pretty good job security there in the midfield, especially with Adams going down.
Yeah, with Adams going down, he might sneak in there.
And 17% ownership, so that could be a good cash cow.
I just noticed I had him in mind, so that's good. That's good to know.
We've got Brisbane now. They've remained unchanged for how many years? They're flopping along. So all we could really give you is Tassie thought McCluggage going to have a big year.
Yeah, he did pretty well in the practice match too, didn't he?
Yeah, he was. He scored pretty well, but he normally, he's a up and down.
Inconsistent.
Yeah, inconsistent. That's the word I'm looking for. He's only in 3% of teams, so he could be one to watch out for as a pod.
Yep. Again, just watch him first couple of rounds, maybe, because we get 40 trades this year. So if you think he might be a bit more consistent and he's putting games in like that, definitely look at him.
And we can't not put the Brownlow medalist in. Neil, I know he was not a real Brownlow medalist, but he is a real Brownlow medalist. Everyone's got a bit of a defence on that Brownlow last year. Thinks it's wrong. So, but
he probably should have had it.
617.
He probably should have had it the year before. Then, really, when you look at the Cripps thing.
Yeah, should have. But you think about it, 617 for a bloke that consistently turns up. Well, there's rarely a game he doesn't turn up.
Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely. All right, Eggy, you want to run through GWS?
Oh, we got Tom Green. He's coming in at 27%, 621,000 or 621,500. It's a pretty good midfielder. I got him in mind. Actually, I don't know if I got him in mind. I don't know if that's Tom Green or Toby Green.
That's Tom Green. Oh, in the midfield will be Tom.
No, the E on the end. Then I got Tom Green in there. Don't have Toby.
Don't have Toby. I've got Toby. And the next one, Eggy?
Then we got Toby Green, the forward, for 508,000 and 14%.
Now, he's a lock in my forward line.
Well, my forward line's full of cheapies, and I sneaked in the one we'll probably touch on a bit later.
Everyone too?
Yeah, he's definitely on the list too, so I'll talk about it later.
I haven't got him.
Actually, he's a definite lock in my forward line. He's one of the highest scoring forwards.
I've got another one.
Consistently does that.
Yeah, and now he doesn't miss games from stupid acts as well.
Yeah. All right, then we've got Gold Coast. I'll run through this. We've found a cheap, not a rookie, he's just playing a different position this week. So Sexton's playing, he's marked as a forward for 133,400 for the Suns, scored 125. He's in 40% of teams, so a lot of people have collided on this, but he's playing the Sheasel Dacos role. He's moved back. That's why he scored a lot more. He'll be running off half-back. Very good user of the footy. High possession winner, and I think he's nearly a lock as well.
The role seems to suit him really well from because they played obviously this week's practice game. They also had a practice game the week before, and same thing. He just dominated in possessions.
I should stop saying locks. I'm going to give away my Supercoach game.
Yeah.
Then we had Miller, obviously. Miller coming back from injury, so he might be a watch, but the performances he puts out, if he's fit this year and survives on the park all year, he's 545, so pretty cheap for the midfield for what he can do, but I think that's more on his injuries.
Yeah, and we didn't look at Anderson or Real or anyone because usually when Miller plays, they don't score as well. It usually does all go to Miller.
Miller's normally the man.
Yeah. I've actually got another one in my Supercoach team that we haven't got on there, and that's Flanders. He's a mid forward, and he looks like he's going to do pretty well too, playing full time.
He's on mine too, mate. All right, then we've got you up with the Cats here, does he?
The Cats. So I've thrown just two rookies here. I don't we went through it before, and I actually don't think they've got any primos. Hawkins and Cameron can both score really well, but I feel like they're both very inconsistent. Cameron came out last year and was dominant until he got injured.
He's best player in the first 10 weeks or 6 weeks whenever he got injured. He was number one player.
Easily. If he comes out and does that again, well, absolutely you need him in your forward line. However, I don't see that happening. Ollie Dempsey, he looked real good. And I remember seeing him a couple of times last year as well. And he plays very, very well. I just don't know about his job security. In the Pracky game, he scored 93. He's only in 3% of teams. Is that a reflection of his job security? But his value is 148,400. So he could be a really, really good pod cow. Again, it just depends on that job security. Second player for Geelong is Clark. Playing midfield, he's 123,900, scored 86, but he's in 46% of teams.
I think he just fits in for Selwood too. I think
come
in and take over that role.
Exactly. So a fair few people have Clark in the team, but again, only 3% Dempsey. Whether or not he's risk or whether he's worth the risk, I don't know.
And then we've got Essendon. So we've got the only real one I think at Essendon that's a standout was Darcy Parish in the midfield. He's going to cost you 604. He's only in 5% of teams. I thought that was shocking. I'm sure he's on 5.
I noticed in mine. I was like, I got no Bombers in mine.
Yeah, Bombers are supposed to improve this year. He scored 123 in the Pracky match. Now, he has a lot of the ball. Whether he uses it the best, that's what you've got to rely on. If he uses it silky this year, they get a lot more run for that midfield. He's going to turn up every game.
Yep. I don't have Bombers either, actually, Eggy.
Oh, I think I've got one. Then we've got Reed. I don't really know much of Reed. This was Tassie's pick. Yep. He reckons the job security down that defence, even with Mackay coming in, reckons he's going to be pretty solid there. Got 80 in the Pracky match, and he's in 35% of teams, so that's normally a good sign. If you're in the high 30s, you're normally going to play round one.
Well, unless you play for Collingwood.
Oh, this is true. This is true.
I just want to catch up on chat here. Kelzo's got, are you boys doing a classic Supercoach this year? Yes, we are, definitely. We will send you the link. We'll post the link shortly.
The link should be up.
And Turtle has here, stupid, sexy Flanders.
Oh, I missed that.
That's a little thing to the Simpsons, I believe.
It is.
Yeah, while we're in this segment, Kelzo, there is we're actually doing a cash league this year, so sign up. Unlimited entries. I'll push that one out because you've got a week and a half to get into that one, I believe.
Free entry.
Round doesn't count.
Free entry, $200 prize pool for that. So 150 to first, 50 to second, and no cash out of your own pocket.
Yeah, it's free entry, so it's always good.
All right. Eggy, do you want...
Oh, you go, Eggy.
Up to Port Adelaide. We've got old Ollie Wines, the midfielder. He's in 7% of teams, but he's back to FT mid. What's that?
Full-time mid there.
Okay, full-time. I thought it was.
On the analysis here.
Ford something?
Full-time mid. They reckon he's having a great pre-season and back to all-Australian form.
Oh, that's the greatest.
I tried to give this one to Tassie because I didn't think he'd know what FT was.
Yeah, my bad. I'll we definitely should have let you know that before, Eggy. Sorry, mate. I don't think YouTube's got a clipping function, so you're
it does. I'll clip that right now.
Oh, does it?
I'll make. Oh, what's that? Printer going off, is that?
Oh, sorry, that's fine.
That's Todd's diabetes thing.
Oh, no.
We're having a mole problem here. But we get back to it, yeah. We probably should.
And then we got Mead. I'm not sure his first name. He must be the cow. He's only in 2% of teams, but he's only 199,800, and he's a dual position mid and forward. I do love me
just one to watch.
Positions.
He did score in the Pracky match 112, so we don't know if he's going to make the side, but he's one to keep an eye on.
Absolutely. There was big raps on him last year because I think he got drafted at the end of 2021 or end of 2022. Massive raps on him to break into the team, but he just couldn't do it. So he's got another season under his belt in the Sandful, another preseason. So definitely one to keep an eye on. All right, moving across to Fremantle. Now, obviously the biggest name for Fremantle is Nathan Fyfe.
And it's at such a cheap price.
Absolutely. And he's got DPP status. 283, 200, 72 he scored. He's in 51% of teams. He had 75% time on ground, all in the midfield for 26 touches. Now, he gave away 4 free kicks. So he would have tonned up if he didn't give away those 4 free kicks.
And he's cheap. I can't believe Fyfe. I looked at Fyfe last year, it was 350. He's just been going down. But if he gets midfield time.
Turtle, you did miss question time, but I don't think we had a question from you.
Not this week. No, he had one last week.
Yep.
That you might have missed, but we'll see if we can go back and clip last week's for you, Turtle, or you can jump back in and go through.
No, he watched last week. He told us he watched last week, so maybe he's talking about the one he put in chat. Can't remember what it was now. He's asking.
No, he's asking. So, did I miss question time?
Yes. I said I sent one.
No, just remember, I was talking before. I said, he's missed the Collingwood. So
that's right.
Into that, yes, you definitely missed question time, Turtle. But go back and watch that.
Definitely.
So, a lot of Collingwood love there for you.
I just want to put. I've got 5 in my team. I just want to put a bit of caution around him because of his latest injury history the past few years.
I think the words I've heard, and going 51% of teams, so everyone's heard this, he's fit as a fiddle and he will go all season.
Yeah, I hope he does. I really genuinely hope he does, because Fremantle are a much better side with him in it. And with him playing along this next player, they're going to be a much better team. So next on the list, we've got Sarong. Last year, he just exploded. The year before, it was Brayshaw. Last year, Sarong's just come out and absolutely dominated. So his price is 621,600. He's in 11% of teams. He scored 95. I don't recall that he was going that hard.
I did watch this game, I believe, and I don't think he was on the ground the whole time either.
Yeah, I didn't watch it, so I'm not 100% sure, but definitely 11% of teams. So not a huge amount of people picking him, but there's enough to say, he's definitely worth a watch and worth a look.
Oh, Eggy, we'll let you take care of Adelaide.
I'll just touch on Turtle's question quickly. He said, here's a question for you guys. Do you think DeGoey should be on the list? And if so, where? I'd honestly say he should be 4 to 6 and believe Butters goes out. That was his question. Aha.
Do you think DeGoey should be on the list?
So DeGoey is...
DeGoey on Collingwood's... Oh, you mean on this list we're reading now?
Or the top 5 or top 10... midfielders, I think.
So we're not going through that. We've more just gone through. We did go through Collingwood and had Dacos. We've just picked the one standout and then the one rising star. We only did that because we didn't want this. This could have gone for 4 hours if we went through everyone.
Yeah. No, I think he's put a question in somewhere.
Yeah, I think he's put it in one of our other chats. But what I'll do is, if we've got time at the end, I might touch on that.
Yeah.
And any other players that chat would like us to.
Now we're into the Crows. We've got is it Isaac Rankin?
Isaac Rankin.
He scored pretty well. I noticed he scored pretty well over the pre-season match.
Yeah, had 138, and he was only on the ground for 59% of the time.
That's huge, absolutely huge, and playing midfield time.
And he was running through the midfield. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Just excuse that beeping, guys.
Did I throw that away?
Do you need to have some sugar, Todd? Do you need to have some sugar or anything?
No, that's why I've got this. I've got this here. There's been sipping on that. That's sugar. So we're good.
Perfect. Excellent. Sorry about that, chat.
Sorry, guys. I thought I muted that before I threw it. If you go back through, just see me dripping there. The sugar's going in, so we're good. We'll be good.
Lovely, lovely. Sorry, Eggy, keep going.
And then we had Esberry as a bit of a cow. I think 226,000 in the mid. He scored 115 in the pre-match. He's only in 3% of teams.
So both of those Crows players, bit of pods.
Yeah, and Berry, I don't know whether he plays or not. I think he does, but you're 50-50. So just to watch on those blokes.
Yeah. Rankin, Rankin's definitely high on my list to look at.
He is, but he's very inconsistent.
That's why I want to watch him a bit more.
Yeah. All right, the next one's probably the highest picked player in the draft. We've got West Coast and highest pick in Supercoach. So he's getting 72% of the teams. Like most first picks, it's Harley Reid. Was okay on the weekend.
Yeah, it was okay.
Without breaking the bank, he finished on 88, but
it
think it's going that hard.
And it did a couple of good plays, but then I saw a couple of times he was a bit scared to pick up the ball when he was in the contest. So.
Yeah, my biggest watch on him is I've heard a lot of injury scares. Don't know if he'll make the full season, and Simpson's come out and saying he won't be playing every game.
Yeah,
correct. Yeah, and he's rotating through that forward role.
Yeah, that's not a bad thing. I don't mind the rotating through the forward, but the not playing every game could be a scare for me.
I think there's better options than him. I really do. I haven't actually got him in my team because I feel like there's cheaper rookies that will probably either score the same, if not more.
Yeah, and play every week. That's the biggest thing is playing every week.
Yeah,
you can't have your Rocky miss a week because it hurts their value going up.
That's right. Anyone else?
No, that's it. Sorry, we didn't think there was any primo players really in the Eagles that we needed to talk about in this segment. They've got a few good players, but we didn't think there was any standouts.
No, we did touch on McGovern, but he's just too injury prone. It's not worth it. Played 11 games or something last year. All right, now we've got a couple of the teams that actually have quite a few players to look at, and definitely will have the potential to score well. So Hawthorn is who we're looking at. So Jai Newcomb is a pure midfielder, 549,200. Scored 125 in the practice match. He's in 8% of teams. I was actually quite surprised at that. I thought he would be in a lot more.
I think that's very low for what he produced last year.
Yep.
And producing early this season. How fit he is. I thought he took off last year.
Tackle machine.
The only problem is 550. You can look at players like Miller, McCluggage, and all that are all around the same mark.
Yeah.
So it might be scaring just the unknown about him.
Could be a very good pod, though.
Yeah.
Just going to touch on chat here. So Turtle has Reed, I think, maybe a problem and not the number one cash cow we always think. Yes, I agree with that, Turtle. I think definitely. And Doc's got, I don't know if you guys touched on this. What's your thoughts on round 0? I'm glad footy's back, but I think that they should have just left it.
I touched on this at the start, so I absolutely hate it.
Yeah.
I think for 10 teams in the comp, we've just got used to football, just got to pray now we're going to go have a bye.
Yeah.
And not only that, it compromises the season for Carlton's playing North Melbourne round 3, coming off a bye.
Yep.
And no team coming off a bye won last year. So Carlton has an opportunity to beat up on a little kid, but they come off a bye. North Melbourne gets them. That's a game they've lost pointlessly.
And I think it's spread out the buys too much that there's too many throughout the season now.
And too early.
But yeah.
Well, you've got 1-3, you've got one round 2, 1 round 3, 1 round 5, 1 round 6.
Yeah.
They're the buys. But those teams that are going on buys now are going to have a week, especially Carlton. Like they play round 2 weeks in a row, have one off, then play again. Who needs a week off after 2 rounds?
Yeah, exactly. And I do feel that they're starting to get the league prepared for when Tasmania come in, because there has to be a bye. They won't be able to do the full round kind of buys that they used to do because of the odd number of teams.
Yeah.
And this is probably just a way of trying to get teams in the habit of it. I don't know, but I'm not a huge fan. But
then you look at it, we're going to have to go to a 19 round. You can't do 24 rounds and have 5 teams have 2 buys. Like, we're going to have to rework that somehow. So I know they can't just bring 2 teams in either. They've got to space them out. But.
Yeah, and whether it's every team does have 2 buys and they have like 1 bye or two teams have a bye, or I don't know. I don't know how they're going to do it.
It'll be like 3 teams.
Yeah, and they've got to do a roster around it. But we'll see when they come in. I'm excited for the new Tassie team. So
yeah,
I think it's going to be great. I do. All right, sorry, back on to Hawthorn. Got a bit sidetracked there, but great question, Doc. Keep the questions coming in. We've got a couple of rookies from Hawthorn here. We've got Hustwaite, who's midfielder. Really impressed by the way he played. He's 184,400. Scored 84. Is in 14% of teams. D'Ambrosio. So he's the player that they picked up from Essendon. I don't know about his job security. I really don't. I feel like they've gone after him, so it should be okay. He's a defender, 224,900. Is a bit of a watch and see because his price is a little bit high for someone who's been in the system a few years. 77 he scored and 10% of teams. Then we've got Phillips. Now, I believe he was signed in the SSP period, so the supplementary period. He's only 102,400. He scored 56. For someone of that value, that's quite good. And he's in 20% of teams. So there are a lot of teams who have him. I've got him on my bench. He's not a scoring player for the field, but he is on my bench.
Yeah, just to try and generate a bit of cash later in the year.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've just thought of someone for Carlton. Okay. Western Bulldogs, Eggy.
Yeah. We got the big Bont in the midfield, 724,000. scored 135 on the weekend. He's in 39% of teams, and I know my team's one of them.
Yeah, so Bont's big player, big time player, but he has the potential. He's one of those players like Gawn that has the potential to score 200. If he gets 30 touches in the middle and they rotate him forward, kicks 4 or 5, he's a monster scorer. So when he goes big, your team normally wins.
I don't have him. I feel like he is too expensive, and he usually starts the season quite slow.
Yeah, we'll see. I think he's form at the moment.
He could come out firing this year, but history does show he normally does start quite slow compared to the way he finishes. So it could be an upgrade option later in the year.
Turtle's got Newcomb, Locke, and Doc Scott. I think it's better than practice matches on crappy grounds.
I don't mind the pracky matches though, because that gets the younger kids or more options for the clubs to have a look. It's us watching players that we normally wouldn't see.
Yep.
I liked it when they played the practice matches in the regional towns like Bendigo, Ballarat, those sort of things to get a bit of a crowd and give them some footy action, like Albury, Wodonga.
Western Bulldogs made it pretty regularly. They went out to Ballarat, wasn't it?
Ballarat, they do, yeah.
They go during the season now. During the season now.
The season, hey, Todd.
That slipped out.
We know what Todd's got on the mind, ladies and gentlemen.
The semen slipped out, or the word?
The semen slipped out.
Got another question there. George Speechley. Don't know who that is. Just joking. I think the AFL are just trying to confuse everyone. It's working with me.
It's worked very well with me too.
It's actually funny. So those in chat, that's my father. And I was talking to him on the phone the other night, and he was very confused with the round 0 and round 1 and whatnot. So it was quite amusing.
Bill's got Bont needs 140 plus every week to keep the price. He will only go down. Pick him up round 4 or 5.
I don't think he goes down. It doesn't matter what he scores. If he's turning up, he will stay at that price.
Anthony's got a semen round, a new round this year.
That's the new round, mate. That's the one that's coming in.
Yeah. Careful though, you might take it on the chin.
It's right after gather round.
Now, instead of gather round this round, they're over in Adelaide.
All right. Back on track.
Back on Hawks.
Right. No, back to Libba.
Oh, no, Libba. On the midfield, 648,000, 136 he scored on, and he's only in 6% of teams. I think. I think Taz actually said that he was a smoky for the Brownlow last year.
And he polled pretty well.
Yeah.
He's one that'll go the same with Bont. He's normally the one giving Bont the ball.
Yeah.
He's 80k cheaper than Bont. Still has massive scoring potential as well.
But he doesn't have the potential to go 200. He'll score 140. He won't get 200.
Yeah. I agree with that. I think Bont's an upgrade target. I really do.
Then we've got arguably the best rucker from 2023 is Tim English. Yeah. And he's 715,000, 134 he scored on the weekend. He's 11% of teams.
That's quite low.
It is,
yes. But my only thing with that is Gawn is 150,000 cheaper, and Gawn can do the same thing.
Yeah.
If not more.
As he showed on the weekend.
As a sole ruckman, yeah.
So
I've got both.
So he's 60 more. I haven't got both. I think it's too expensive for English, but he does have the potential to go big like he did on the weekend, and he's their solo ruck, so he normally does go big.
Yeah, I like it. All right, we're up to...
We've got one more.
He's got one more.
Yeah, we've got big Riley Sanders, the cash cow, coming in at 184,000. He scored 86 on the weekend, and he's in 66% of teams. Probably second most teams.
He will play.
Yeah.
I don't care what anyone says. You have 30 touches in a practice match, you're playing round 1.
And he's one. If you're tossing up between Reid and Sanders in your midfield, I would go Sanders because I feel like he will score more, he'll be more consistent, and he'll get more games.
And he'll play more games, yeah.
Reid might play in someone's forward line, but I think if you're deciding midfield out of those two, Sanders every day of the week.
Yeah.
All right, I'll let you take this one, Tazzy.
All right, so
you get the last one, do you? Is that
I better go this one too. So we had St Kilda.
We've made this team black, but it's actually St Kilda. It should be red.
It's red and black. Red, black and white. They're right. All right, so we had our pickup of the round. We thought takes Webster's spot. Webster's probably going to miss 5-6 weeks easy. We all saw the incident. We don't need to go into it.
On our story, if you haven't seen it.
Yeah, if you haven't seen it, we'll get on the story. It's pretty disgusting. But Bonner in the midfield, 285, and he's running. I think he'll run off half back.
Yep.
They've got him as a mid, but he'll run off half back. Scored 127. He's in 3% of teams, so you might be able to get a bit of a pod there. Then this one really surprised me. Only in 7% of teams, but Rowan Marshall for St Kilda, 639. And he has the capability of doing what English does. Probably not as high, but for 100 or 80 grand cheap or something, he scored 102. He normally averages about 102 when he's a solo ruck.
I reckon I might drop English to him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've convinced Tassie. I've got one on.
I'm just thinking, Sam Darcy, sorry, Eggy. Sam Darcy's meant to come back in and play a bit of ruck, and Rory Lobb's meant to play a bit of ruck as well. So English may not get as much time in the ruck.
I had Marshall in my team, but then ended up taking him out for maybe what's it? I don't know who it is. Malley from the North Melbourne. It was just really cheap for some. So
Zuri.
Malley, Maley. I don't even know who he is.
You could be doing that as a loophole. Don't forget you got a loophole in Classic as well.
Oh, yeah.
Don't be cheating, people. No loopholes in our league.
Because Marshall played today, but who was all over him that you were saying?
Zeri.
Yeah, Cherry was all over.
Yeah. Because I did have him originally too. Then I changed it to Marshall, and then I picked up this cheapie. But I'll try and make some cash throughout the year, or early. Yep. But he might not even play by the looks of it.
I don't think he'll play.
Cherry was big. Cherry was big today. But
yeah. And this new ruck rule helps.
Big as well. Yeah.
The new ruck rule helps Gawn and him the most, I feel.
Yep.
All right. North Melbourne. I'm surprised you didn't want to do these guys.
I was going to, but I looked. I thought, I better not. I'm a bit biased on this one.
Bit biased.
Yeah,
Love
a bit
it.
Biased on this one. Well, you're probably biased on this one too. You gave me my number one pick.
Yeah, absolutely. So this one here, Zach Fisher, is actually not as many teams as I thought he was going to be in. He is a forward, but as we know, towards the end of last year, he started playing halfback for Carlton. That's where North see his best position. So him and the next player running off halfback, I feel like they're both going to score really well. Fisher went big, 132
36 touches today too.
36 touches, massive. And I think his efficiency was really high. He's in 14% of teams. Next, we've got Sheasel. Again, he's actually listed as a defender, but I think he's going to be rolling through the midfield at times.
I know defence now this year.
Didn't he roll through the midfield third quarter?
He had a 5-minute patch in the midfield and racked up like 13 touches or something.
Yeah, he'll roll through there.
It needs to go in the midfield, but they've got their eye on Lazaro going through there and keeping these two down back distributed. Because we are playing a bit of Rue ball this year.
They're both probably the two of the best kicks in the team.
Yeah.
Accuracy-wise. Well, Sheasel, 556, 200, 102 he scored, 39% of teams. I've got him in my side alongside Dacos.
He's in my side too.
This one here jumped out at me today. So you guys picked him up from Richmond, I think it was.
Yeah.
New one. He's a forward. He's 123,900. He scored 87. He's in 1% of teams. You watch that go up after this show. Yeah. But he's playing defence for North.
No, he was always going to play North defence. He's played forward at Richmond, but he's nearly a lock in the side. I was telling you this there today.
Yep.
We've got a few defenders out. Lacking defence. He was probably the best defender in the Pracky match. So I think he goes... there were a lot of good defenders. So North defended very well today, considering the team. But I think he's a lock for round one.
I think with the way you guys are playing Rue ball, he will score pretty well. I really do.
And he's sort of that floating, like a Lear and just the third up floating cross sort of defender.
Yeah. Him and Gota worked well together.
Yeah.
And then we've got Dersma, mid/forward, 193,800. 81 he scored, and he's in 32% of teams. And you really like the look of him today.
This kid was electric today. If he doesn't play round one, Clarko's done.
He
has to play round one.
He'll play.
He looked electric. Was, apart from Larky, second best forward on the ground. He moved up the ground well, marking everything. He's only a mid forward. He was marking everything. You've got to be worried about him on the air. Then he's roving on the ground. He's electric.
Yep.
Now we've got that's on that team. Just to catch up on chat, we got let's touch base on Underwood calling this from Turtle. Let's touch base on Underwood calling Ginnivan Ginnigan. Could be a whole segment every week for her fuck ups.
Absolutely.
Maybe we can get some clips of it and we can do a mashup halfway through the season or something.
She called Mitch. She called Mitch Owens today, Owies from Carlton. I mean, he's only a legend, as we all know, especially Coach Stephen loves Owies.
Stevens, that's it. Stevens is always man, isn't he?
And Jewish James put Ewan has been in my team for weeks now.
Jewish Jam is a very, very good fantasy football player.
Yeah, he's probably a surprise pickup because I didn't know. I knew he was in the team, but I didn't know how good he was down back until I seen the game today. It's electric down back.
Looks really, really solid. And he might even, just based on the way he played today, he's probably someone you can put on the field.
Yeah, he's going to lock in that spot. Although they do have Combin to come back in. They've been very impressed with Combin down back.
Yep. Yeah, who knows? We've got a minute. I'm going to just really quickly touch on Jordan De Goey because Turtle asked before. So Jordan De Goey is 539,900, is in 5% of teams. I think he will score well, but he still does have that inconsistency. He's a lot more consistent than what he was prior to last year. I feel like he could do a Dusty and just dominate, but I don't know where he fits in the top mids this year. I think there are better options available.
Well, he's sort of that mid. You sort of don't want to get stuck with too many mid. No, I'm not going to say average. He's better than average player, but mid-price field, whether they're 500, 500, 480 that score 80 or 90. You want your midfielders over 100, 120s, 130s. If you end of the season get all your mid scoring 130, 120 plus, that's where you want to be.
Yeah,
I don't think he's that player every week.
He might prove us wrong this year and go, you know what, next year is a lock. He's just turned 28, I think, so he could be hitting his prime, but I don't have him in my side. He could be a good draft player.
Yep.
I just want to touch on a couple of players that I've got on my team that I want to hear your thoughts on. You didn't talk about. B. Lowry out of Melbourne. Bailey Lowry. I don't know, you don't know anything about him?
I think he's scored okay. I haven't heard a huge amount about him. I know he's in a lot of teams, or I believe he's in a lot of teams.
Sorry, I missed that player's name. Who was it?
Bailey Lowry or Laurie.
Laurie from Melbourne. So he scored, I'm just having a look here. So he scored 58 from 73% time on ground, had 4 free kicks given to him and 17 disposals. So that tells me his efficiency wasn't great. It could be a watch. Absolutely.
Yep. And I put Josh Gibkiss in mine as well from Richmond.
Yeah, Gibkiss is. I've got him in mind.
Good defender. Yeah,
I think he's a lock. He looked like a freak on the other night.
Also, Kelzo's put players to fill spot around the 200k mark.
I was just going to go through Kelzo. Depends what position you want. We've got a few on this list. We might even see if we can. Oh, the list is still up there, but depends if you want. Ruckman, we've got Naismith. We've got a couple of forwards on that list as well.
Yep.
A couple others you can look at who we didn't mention. There was Williams from Carlton. He looks to be firming for a round one spot. He's only worth 215,000. He could potentially be a 100-point scorer. Nick Caulfield from Western Bulldogs. We didn't bring him up as a rookie in defence. He made the move across. I don't think he'll be that high scoring.
Sexton in the forward line, we think he's going to go huge, but he'll play back.
Yep, absolutely. And then you've got I think there was some other players. I think there was one that played for St Kilda today, Darcy Wilson, I think. I think he scored pretty well, and he looks like he might have pretty good job security. Let me have a look. Yeah, so he scored 106 from 24 disposals. So Darcy Wilson from St Kilda is another one that you could look at putting in your side.
Just got another one. You want all Kelso?
Maybe we'll send Kelso over the list.
But the midfield, Riley Sanders is probably your best bet for under 200k in that midfield.
Yeah, I agree with that. Definitely.
We've just got Doc here. First time tuning in, boys. Definitely won't be the last. Thanks, Doc. And thoughts on the bump today? I think 6 to 7 weeks. I said 5 live. I've looked at it. I reckon 6 or 7.
Yeah,
I'm trying to stand that out of the game. Kingy was talking live on 10 weeks. He wants 10.
Yep.
I don't think you can give a young kid 10.
Webster's not young, mate. He's been around for years.
You can't give everyone 10 weeks for that. You've ruled out half his season.
Yeah, but you think about the concussion protocols and the impact.
And I do think they'll be more strict because of the Brayshaw this year. They've had a couple of, like Brayshaw's 28 coming into his prime.
Yeah,
he had another 4 or 5 years of the best footy of his career left. So,
what was Webster's intent though? His intent was to hurt. He wasn't going for the ball.
Had to be because the ball was long gone.
He jumped like it was. Doc, if you want my honest, brutal words, it was fucking disgraceful.
And it caused symptom from the ground. Now, he's coming off 2 concussions last year. He's worried about this today. I don't think he ended up concussed. I think they just benched him because didn't want to risk him.
It could be delayed, though.
But then that now puts into his, do I go as hard? Don't want to get hit like that again. And it does hurt the game.
Yeah. We're stamping it out. We've been trying to stamp it out for years. I want the bump to stay because I feel like the bump, hip and shoulder on the hip and shoulder, is good for the game, bodies crashing, but bumping into people's heads and front on and everything, it's just too dangerous now.
Yeah, so I think the bump goes. I don't think the bump stays.
No. I think eventually
we've got to get rid of it, but just like going both for the ball shoulder bump's fine, but if you elect to bump, I reckon we just make that a week.
Yeah.
And Anthony sees 6 to 8. Doc's got, I reckon, 8.
Yeah. It'll be high 6s.
I've got a story up on our Instagram, guys. If you're not on following us, please jump in on Instagram and follow TNT Footy. I've actually got a poll up, and so far we're sitting at. Let me have a look here. We've got 30% of people who have voted say 3 to 4 weeks. 40% of people say 5 to 6. 20% of people say 7 to 8, and 10% of people think it'll be more than 8.
I don't think it can be more than 8.
So I think it will be around that.
Yeah, I reckon 6 to 7's probably fair. If 4 was for Sam Powell-Pepper, this one, he's jumped. Powell-Pepper had nowhere to go, or he did, but he elected to bump, and it was high, whereas this, he elected to bump high, left the ground, intent to hurt, ball not in area. He's got 5 things to answer for instead of just 2.
Yeah. I also think that we need to have a decision much earlier in the week than waiting 5-6 days.
Yeah,
that's another thing. That's a different topic, but
they could have done it today. Could have said, I suppose they wanted to go to tribunal, but they could have offered him 8 today. If he was happy with that, take it.
But they should make the decision tomorrow. They probably won't say anything until Tuesday.
Yeah, true.
But I don't think there was any other questions that we missed in chat, was there? We covered off DeGoey from Turtle. The Kelly Underwood thing. Yeah, we could definitely look at doing a little segment on her if we get time in future.
It's funny, isn't it? I hate when she's commentating North games, but when any other team, I'm happy for it. I'm all happy for it.
I actually think she's the worst commentator that we have. I really do, and that's not because she's female.
Being sexist, yeah, because I actually like the boundary lines. Who have we got of a boundary line? Daisy.
Daisy's awesome. Daisy Pearce.
She's good as a boundary line. Yeah.
She knows what she's talking about. I like when they get Erin Phillips on. She knows what she's talking about. You know what I mean? It's not because she's a woman. It's because she's shit.
Yeah, because the orange team. How do you not know what team's playing?
That's right. I'll never forget that comment.
The orange team.
And when Charlie Cameron has a shot at goal, there goes Curnow.
Yeah. It's it's not right, is it? But anyway, I think that'll just about do us. We've actually done pretty well. I thought it was going to take a lot longer.
We've done real well.
I was a bit worried about the Supercoach numbers and throwing stats at you guys, but we got through it pretty quick.
Hopefully everyone got a bit of value out of that and heard of a couple of players that they may not have that might be on their radar now. Again, follow us on all the socials, guys. TikTok, Instagram. We've even got Facebook as well, where I think we've got a lot of followers in the Facebook on the Facebook group, which is cool. If you haven't joined the footy tipping, join the footy tipping.
Supercoach too. We need to get that league going. We talked about Supercoach today, so even if you just want to make a quick team and jump in there, it's free entry.
You still got 2 weeks. Almost, no, well, we got a week and a half.
Week and a half. Not this round. It'll be the next, not Thursday coming, the Thursday after. Teams will need to be in by then.
I'm excited.
I'm very excited. Not for next week though. I reckon.
When's the first?
I am. It's Thursday.
Thursday night, is it?
Thursday night. We've got
Fantastic.
4 days. 4 days, but I still reckon it's kicking the guts for the other 10 teams that miss it. Just get us for 40 and then you say, no, you don't play this week. I reckon just bring it. They could have just brought the whole thing forward, but put an extra game in.
Just a reminder to everyone that tuned in last year, we're not doing our tips on the show anymore. We're actually going to be putting them up on our socials on a Wednesday for the upcoming rounds, and then we'll dissect them on next week's show.
Yeah,
so
we'll
Thursday night, 7:30.
Yeah, we'll see. For the next game, I was about to say I have the tips on TikTok, probably TikTok and socials by, we'll say 6 o'clock Wednesday night, 7 o'clock Wednesday night.
Sure.
Get the pressure on Tassie. My tips are already done, so I don't know what he's worried about. Now.
Love it. All right, boys. Anything else from you two?
No, let's go.
Love it. I can actually say it this week, and yes, Doc, Abby Holmes is amazing. Let's hope this first season opener round, sounds weird saying that,
That's terrible.
Is explosive.
Explosive round. Thanks,
Bye, everyone.
Fell in love with your color.